Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with somebody who might get some out of it. Other than that, let's get into reading today, guys. Beautiful Saturday. What a great day I had today. The reading today is titled Right Back Up. As in, if you fall, it's okay to fall, just get right back up. There is something in our self-destructive personalities that cries for failure. Poor me, woe is me, look at me, my life is such a mess, or I've fallen and no matter how hard I try, I continue to fail. Many of us came into recovery singing this sad refrain. Life isn't like that anymore. True, sometimes we still stumble, and at times we even fall. Sometimes we will feel like we can't move forward in life, no matter how hard we try. But the truth of the matter is that with the help of other recovering addicts, we find a hand to pull us up, dust us off, and help us start all over again. That is the new reality of our lives. No longer do we say, I'm a failure and I'm going nowhere. Usually it's more like, damn, I hit that same speed bump in the road of life again. I will now learn to slow down and avoid it completely. Until then, we may continue to fall down occasionally, but we've learned to reach out for a helping hand to get back up again. And then the affirmation is, just for today, if I begin to cry failure, I'll remember there is a way to move forward. I will accept the encouragement and support in recovery. And guys, that couldn't be more true, right? Let me see if I can lighten this up a little bit, guys. Bear with me a second here. That's awfully, here we go. That's better. Now I can actually see. Yeah, that's certainly something I found, guys. And here's the thing. I tell you guys all the time, attitude determines reality. What you seek, you will find, right? And that's been the experience of my life for 40 years. I was out there telling myself that I'd done too many stupid things as a kid, that I could never get over the bullshit of my past, the illegal ramifications of the, just of all the crap I put myself through, right? And that's exactly what happened, continued to happen, because of the way I spoke to myself, I didn't bother to try. It was literally just an excuse to keep doing the same stupid shit I was doing, making mistakes and then blaming everybody but myself for the mistakes I made, saying how it was the cops back when I was 12. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm 50 years old, You can only blame people outside of yourself for so long. At any point in time, I could have just stopped, surrendered, and started rebuilding. But because I wasn't looking at that, I was telling myself that I was a failure and that I was cursed and it was genetic and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So that's exactly what I found. Whatever you tell yourself, your brain has that, I forget the technical term for it, but it's literally a part of your brain, reticular activating system, that's what it's called, that will seek out the information that you're constantly telling yourself to prove to yourself, or your brain trying to prove that it's right. So if you're telling yourself all the time you're going to fail, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't try as hard. You don't look for other options. You don't believe there's a way out of a situation, a way to move forward from the situation. And you fail and you go backwards. And you go, see, I was right. See, I told you. But guys, if you say, you know what? I know I can. I'm just doing something wrong. I'm not looking at it the right way. I'm not talking to myself the right way. I'm not believing in myself. And that's God's honest truth, guys. Exactly what I found. In the last 9 months of my life, I've literally put together a life that I was completely incapable of doing for 40 years. Guys, I've opened a business. I'm paying taxes. I'm getting licenses and permits and insurance. My credit is back into the positive. It's not 100% yet, but it's like 180 points up from where it was 9 months ago. Guys, that's amazing. That is literally beyond what I thought was, physically, humanly possible. I kind of still believe it is, because I believe it's a direct miracle from my higher power. But all the miracles that I've received have started from the way I look at myself and the way I react to the outside world. My ability to pay attention to what's going on around me and then engage with it in a positive way. My ability to look at situations and not look for the bad in them, and instead look at the good in them. Look at, the only way I compare is I said, well, before when these things would happen, this would be the outcome because this is the action I took. Now, I remain upbeat, positive. I look for the lesson in everything, because that's what I understand today, guys. It was never me being punished. It was me refusing to learn the lessons that I was repeating. And that's all it was, guys. It was the same test over and over again that I was continuing to fail because I wasn't applying it properly. I wasn't looking at it properly. As soon as I started to do so and then take the lessons I learned at every stumble, at every fall, and then apply them to my life the next time that situation came up, I was able to move forward, even if it was just one step forward, but that still was moving forward. And then the next test would come up, and I would I would again look at my previous attempts and do the opposite of what I'd done in the past, and boom, I would move another step forward, and then another step, and another step, and that's all this is, guys. That's all recovery is all about. It's not getting overwhelmed and worried about having to change everything all at once. Yes, we need to change everything if you want a proper, good recovery, but you don't do it all at once. It's not, you'll get overwhelmed. You take the biggest obstacles, the most pressing situations, you deal with them in the most positive light. Take the proper road, not the fast road, not the easy road, not the shortcut to get to, the bare minimum you can get by with. No, you stop and you just digest and respond rather than reacting. And what I mean by responding is, you stop and you actually play the tape through and say, okay, if I do this, what's it going to get me? Or if you're just being negative, stop and look at some of the good things going on in your life. Every one of us has things to be grateful for, immense things to be grateful for. If you've managed to put down drugs, that's huge. You've just done something so few of us, are able to do. Burrito burping back up on me, guys. I had a late lunch, and just to throw it out there, I had a steak and queso burrito from Anna's Taqueria down here in Porter Square. Guys, if you're in the area, stop and get a burrito there. The burritos are unbelievable. That was delicious. I was literally in heaven. It was so good, I texted my whole family. I'm like, hey, when you're starving, you're in the area, Anna's steak and cheese burrito, man. Nothing beats it. But anyway, I digress. Guys, everything has changed in my life because I started believing that I was possible, where before everything was impossible. And then somebody broke that down to me one day and said, you know what impossible is? You've been looking at it wrong, because what that really says is I'm possible. And all these things are little silly cliches, but when you start looking at them that way, guys, they change the way you think. And then when you change the way you think, you change the way you behave. When you start taking better actions, you start getting better results. It's as simple as that, guys. It's a very difficult process. It requires a lot of introspection, a lot of work. And again, it's not, but it seems that way in the beginning. And when you're not there yet, it seems just like woo-woo magic, right? But when you actually start doing these things, guys, go to a meeting, get in a support group, be with other like-minded, positive people. Look for the beauty in everything. In every situation, there's something to be grateful for, because things should always go worse. No matter how bad they are, you're still breathing. You got something to be grateful for. Start being, working from that place of gratitude. Start counting your blessings. And I mean, if you have to journal them out every day and make a gratitude list, then do so. If you don't change your attitude, if you are constantly walking around saying, life's beating me up, it's not my fault, there's nothing I can do about it, then that's what's going to happen, guys. The law of attraction is real. We get what we focus on. When you focus on the fact that you're moving forward, you've managed to put down drugs, you are a survivor, you are a winner, not a victim, then good things start happening, guys. You start finding situations that you're looking at differently and seeing the good in them. And then when you do that over and over again, then you start inviting more good situations in. Your attitude becomes better. People start looking at you in a different light. And when you change from super negative to super positive, people are going to rally to be around you, because we all like to be happy. Nobody wants to have to deal with somebody that's absolutely miserable, self-fulfilling prophecy. They might do so out of obligation or because they love you, but nobody's handing the extra opportunity to somebody that drives them crazy, that's miserable, that just pisses and moans. You've got to want to be better, and then you've got to try to be better, and then you will be better. Guys, it's as simple as that. Every one of us is capable of absolutely anything you want to do, providing you take the proper steps and you do it in the proper energy. That's the one thing I found, guys. That is called alignment. There's a million different definitions for it, aligning yourself with the higher power, but just being aligned with positive, beautiful situations, being happy, being upbeat, looking at the good in every situation, And when life is continuing throwing you the same, if you're finding the same situations playing out in your life with the same results over and over again, it means there's a lesson there that you're not seeing. So stop and pay attention. Ask somebody else. Get somebody else's honest outside opinion. The most important thing I did was put people around me that didn't want to yes me. When I'm surrounded by yes men, people that just want to agree with you, I can't find the truth in anything that I'm not already seeing. But when I'm around people that challenge me to step up and see where my behaviors have worked and where they failed, then I learn things. And then I'm able to guide other people. Everything is this beautiful symbiotic relationship in my life today, guys, because I'm applying myself and I'm trying harder and I'm trying to be a better person. So therefore, the universe has given me opportunities to step up and be a better person and test myself. And again, guys, for once in my life, I'm passing the test. Again, not anything perfect, but everything continues to expand at a bigger and faster rate. That's to the point where, like, I've gotten so used to it now, I just keep chugging along, but I'm constantly happy and I'm constantly amazed. And then I step back and I take stock of what's going on. And I can't tell you how many times I've literally said, oh my God, I can't imagine things getting much better, only to a month later realize that I've tripled where I was a month ago. And I know now that things can continue to get better. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not capable of, dropping and traveling the world at a moment's notice. So yeah, things could get better because I'd like to be in that position. That would be good. That would be better. Again, but here's the difference. My happiness is not dependent upon any of that. I'm happy now. I'm incredibly grateful now. I'm in love with my life today now. So therefore, I keep taking actions that allow better and better things to come into my life. Not saying, okay, I'm happy with what I have, let me stop here and just and ride it out. No, I've seen miraculous change in my life in 9 months. I want to see if I can make even bigger miracles happen in the next 9 months and then the following 9 months. And just keep going and going till I finally reach that golden place called my full potential. I don't know if I'll ever get there, and I'm honored to know that I haven't, because it means I still have so much room to grow and so many more beautiful experiences that can come into my life. But I will keep working towards getting better and better. And again, I don't have to put my definition on it. I should probably have more plans, but guys, I'm doing such a literal trust fall with God, just believing that I'm just doing the best I can without putting any definition and just letting Him surprise me at every turn. And guys, it's working so incredibly well. I have no desire to stop. But I gotta pay at the same time. And I do pay attention to my behaviors and my thoughts. But again, I haven't really set any huge goals because I know everything up to this point in my life. Every time I set a goal, I just sold myself so short. So for now, I'm keeping it open-ended and just trying to do the best I can. As long as I'm paying attention and seeing what the intuitive nudges I get to see where the signs and synchronicities are leading me to make sure I'm not going in the wrong direction. And at this point, guys, I know when I step out of line because it feels wrong. So, and that because things have suddenly started feeling so good for so long, it's incredibly easy to notice when it feels bad. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that, guys. I was lost. I was broken. I was in despair. But I looked around me and people told me I'd be okay, to just trust and have faith and to get up and to try. So I did so. And now, here I am doing pretty well, so when somebody else around me falls, I reach my hand out, and it makes me a part of that too. Now I got people looking up to me, and I've got people to look up to in my life, instead of just a bunch of derelict drug addicts that I was constantly surrounded with before. Guys, it's so much better on this side of things, and I totally know and believe that yes, I'm going to make mistakes. Yes, I may stumble and fall. But those stumbles and falls won't include using drugs and throwing everything away, because that's my one thing I won't let happen. And I also know that no matter what happens, my higher power won't put something in my life that I can't handle. So I know even if I fall, even if I trip, even if I stumble, I'm going to get back up. I've done so 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times. So I know I'm capable of that, so there's no question of that. So now, boom, I know I can move forward. And that's a beautiful place to work from, guys. Knowing that things are going to get better. Knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle that situation. You can do so sober. You can do so learning the lessons out of it. And you can do so helping others along the way. Guys, I can't imagine asking for much more than that. Life is beautiful when you allow it to be, guys, and that's literally what it comes down to. You just have to allow it by acting accordingly. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, guys. If you fall, get back up. It's okay. Never tell yourself you can't, because when you tell yourself you can't, then you're right. But if you tell yourself you can, you're also right. So what do you want to tell yourself? Guys, speak highly of yourself. You can't expect anybody else to if you don't. But on the second hand of that, you also got to act in accordance with the way you're speaking of yourself. Don't sit there and say that, you're everything and then don't back any of it up. Talk the talk, walk the walk. Guys, that's the lesson for today. Thank you so much for being here. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.